The second part of the translation of Luang Pu's reflection on the 12th December 2022. Luang Pu continued by saying that when one conduct negative karma or wrong conduct, evil conduct, they will have to face the karmic payback heavily. To be born poor, stupid, and bad looking is the ugliest things in the world. And Manning added to his words, say, it would be worse if one also born handicapped or with physical disorder. And he said, to be born handicapped but have wisdom is not so bad. But to be born poor and bad looking and stupid is very ugly. It is desperately the main desperate is to be ignorant or not clever. So if you don't receive the heritage of Dhamma that is giving to you, then you can expect to have the status of being poor, bad looking, and stupid. So follow and practice Dhamma well, even when you are at home or when you come to the temple. Because you are now in Thailand, the Buddhist culture is provide you the opportunity to follow the Dhamma way. For example, in some of the Thai temples would lead you to pray, doing some chanting, and it's a good place to make dana or generosity offerings. It is basic and easy. So when you have the opportunities to go to the temple, you can practice the basic culture of the Buddhists. But if you don't have the chance to go to the temple, you can practice Dhamma when you're at home, reflecting on yourself and your own obstruction, release, letting go, or practice concentration, or listen to Dhamma reflections. This may seem that Luang Pu is giving us the Dhamma at the Atta level or personal self level, but if you have reached the profound teaching and train the Atta to the ultimate level, you will be able to break through to the Anatta, which is non-self level. Conventional truths or the Dhamma for the world start from Sila or the precepts, which mean to refrain from all the negative conduct and to have concentration, follow righteousness and morality, or to follow and uphold Dhamma and Vinaya, which is the discipline for monks and nuns, is also Dhamma at worldly level or Atta, which is for the self. However, when you practice the Atta well to the ultimate level, then you will break through to the Anatta you will see the impermanent nature of all and everything. You will see dissatisfactoriness in everything, and then you will realize the final truth, which is anatta, that nothing has the true self, or the self that never change, or the deluded self, personal self. Luang Pu said that a human form composed with five aggregates, or the elements of the body and the mind. But animals, like a dog, has only four aggregates. The dog has anicca, or has the impermanent nature. Its physical body changes according to the impermanence. However, the dog cannot realize that their physical form is changing because of the impermanent nature. The dog only has the impermanence, but it doesn't know or think about the impermanent nature because it's lack of one of the mind elements, which is thinking formation or decorative thought. The dog also have dukkha. It have dissatisfactoriness, but it doesn't have the thought formation in finding ways, or have the ability to awaken to the truth of how to transcend suffering. Is only react to sufferings through its instinct, like when it gets hungry, it will like find food or seek warmth when it felt cold, but it doesn't know that dissatisfactoriness is the characteristic of the nature. So it's only reacted by instinct, but it doesn't have thought formation to transcend suffering. Most people in the world, they know or senses the impermanence. They know suffering or dissatisfactoriness, but they don't know anatta. Even the most clever man, one of the outstanding man as being very clever, Albert Einstein, he has the breakthrough to the theory of relativity. Before he had the breakthrough, he doesn't know anatta, which is no self. It's just the changing of elements, material and immaterial elements. But after he knew anatta, he felt regretted about his findings, about sharing what he discovered to the world, because this theory of relativity created some benefit for mankind, but also create disaster when they use his theory to produce weapons such as nuclear bomb. When the Buddha was enlightened, he was enlightened to anatta, which is no self or not self, no intrinsic self. Everything is just a changing of elements. So if the Buddha's teaching has to be in this modern language, it will be like how Luang Po would say, there is nothing need to be done in any certain way ever again in order to reach the anatta, because everything is anatta by nature. It has no intrinsic self by nature. However, the reason that Luang Pu is teaching conventional truth or teaching morality and good conduct is because whatever action or behavior that you are behaving or doing will create an imprint within the mind or the storage space. It will create my imprints, just like how you record video or record audio, that the imprints stay and can be replayed, and this will make you always come back to suffer the result of bad conduct or to rejoice in the result of good karmic retribution or positive payback of your karma. Then Luang Pu changed to talk about dying. He said for those who have no mindfulness or who have no concentration to be able to stay sane or stay like clear, have a clear vision when they have to face death, they will lose their conscience and they will be terrified and they will fall into suffering state. To face the death is heavy, is serious and terrifying. This is the same of being reborn. It is heavy suffering to be born. You have to be in a narrow space in your mother womb for 9 months, and then when you come out from the mother's womb, you have to face the whole new environment. So all the babies normally are born crying, not laughing. So it shows that it is suffering to be born into a new form. Luang Pu advised us to study Miralepa works. You can check it out through the keywords songs of Miralepa, song of Miralepa. So it already written about this Dhamma of nature. For example, it is so vast and limitless, like the song that sang, if it is countable, it cannot be called the stars, because it's so limitless. So Vajrayana Buddhism, it is also beneficial for one to study as well. However, you have to chew well to be able to swallow the Dhamma. Otherwise, it will get stuck in your throat. And he mentioned all Dhamma can be concluded into the three marks of existence, which is anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanence, dissatisfactoriness, and not self. To learn and break through these three marks of existence, we have to go through the conventional truth or the Dhamma that guide you to practice the Atta until you see the Anatta. Our storage space is very heavy because we have accumulated all karmas through uncountable lifetimes. So all these black and white karma are stored in our storage space. So Luang Pu said, let's follow all advices that he is giving us today. For example, to share out your blessings, radiate the meritful retribution and perfections to all beings limitlessly. You will know what the result it will bring after you start following this practice and realize what is black karma or dark karma and what is good karma. Negative karma will result in suffering. Positive karma will bring you joy and happiness. If you continue follow the defilements such as anger, greed, aversion, and delusions, you will create black karma or negative karma. So if you constantly conduct negative karma, the result of the negative karma will swallow up the result of meritful karma or positive karma or doing the good conduct. So you will be in woeful state or suffering state more than in the heavenly state.
สัตว์ทั้งหลายที่เป็นเพื่อนทุกข์เกิดแก่เจ็บตายด้วยกันทั้งหมดทั้งสิ้นจงเป็นสุขเถิดอย่าได้มีเวรแก่กันและกันอย่าได้เบียดเบียนแก่กันและกันเราได้เบียดเบียนทางกายด้วยวาจาด้วยใจจงอโหสิกรรม
Then Luang Pu show us how he prays. He normally chant the Metta Bhavana and follow by asking for forgiveness to cleanse and purify all guilty conscience and sinful retribution. So Metta Bhavana, may you be happy. Let there be no enmity among you. May you be free from physical and mental suffering. Wishing for your physical and mental well-being, save yourself from all suffering, harm, and danger. Luang Pu also asked for forgiveness for all the wrong conduct and violation toward all beings in all lifetime. Then Luang Pu recited the 10 perfections in Buddhism, which are generosity, morality, renunciation, insight, energy, patience, truthfulness, resolution, loving kindness, and equanimity. To make a wish or to pray can result in a peaceful life and longevity and happiness. So let's pray for you to have the 10 perfections in order to help you to perform the conduct of sharing out your blessings in helping and support worldly beings. To wish and pray with the right determination can be successfully fulfilled through the prayers. And if you practice metta bhavana before going to bed, you will sleep very well and also have good dreams. It will clear your mind from being obsessed with some unhealthy thought and all the worries that you have. You will not need to take a sleeping pill to help you to sleep well. If you radiate out and share out your meritful retribution and the perfections and share the blessing that you have from all goodness and grace to fellow beings in the world and samsara. You can also concentrate and calm the mind by focusing at your tummy or stomach, and you can also put a coin or something that help you focus easier and see how your stomach inflate and deflate. In this way, your mind will not be restless. It will come to the point where you're focused at, and it will be peaceful and calm. Your mind will not be wandering to the past, to the future, to all the worries, and it will not keep you awake. You can go to sleep peacefully. When the mind is calm, the meditative absorption state happens, and then you can see the truth clearly that life is just all about breathing in and breathing out. It have nothing else matter. So Luang Pu also got his chan or meditative absorption this way, which helped him to always be centered and walk the right path. He noticed this technique even before he learned how to meditate. He saw a fish that was caught but still alive, and that fish stomach is just like inflate and deflate. So he knows when it stopped inflate and deflate, it means that the fish is dead. So life is just about breathing. So don't look down on this meditation technique of focusing on your breathing, because it's one of the technique that was hand-on to our generation by many enlightened sages or teachers. Even though Luang Pu got meditative absorption result, he has special insight from practice this, and he prays that even 1 minute or second that you can be centered and have the 1 moment, or the one or single pointedness of the mind is really worth it. However, this is not the ultimate truth. It was not something that came from the Buddha's teaching, or rishis, or practitioners, spiritual practitioners in India before the Buddha time has no this meditative absorption which bring joys and peace, but it's not enlightenment. It may be wrong approach as well if you got stuck with the blissfulness from having the peaceful mind or the inner peace, because it's not the ultimate truth. So we have to beware that this is not enlightenment. Let's not be stuck with meditative absorption. So even the Buddha said, this is not the way to make anyone enlightened, to be like obsessed with meditation. However, as a monk, when Luang Pu practiced in the forest, it did help him to be tough and resolute on walking this path of spirituality, or the path of renunciation. Again, Luang Pu confirmed that Buddha's enlightenment was all about anatta dhamma, the dhamma that has no self, no personal self, no deluded self, no ego. However, people said that the Buddhas have enlightened the Noble Truth. The Four Noble Truths are the truth of unsatisfactoriness or dukkha, the truth of the cause of unsatisfactoriness, so samudaya in Bali, the truth of the cessation of suffering or unsatisfactoriness or nirodha, and lastly the truth of the way leading to the cessation of unsatisfactoriness. Luang Pu said that the four foundations of mindfulness, which are mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of the feelings, mindfulness of the mind or consciousness, and mindfulness of Dhamma, all can be concluded or come down to a summary of just watching the or focusing on the inflated and deflated stomach. There is not much in Dhamma. We can make it very short by make a conclusion that everything fall under the character of the nature, which is anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Luang Pu also have graduated to this truth. He already earned a PhD, or the highest education level in Buddhism, when he had the breakthrough to the knowledge of the three marks of existence, which is impermanent, dissatisfactoriness, and not self.